Hey everybody, welcome back. I know it's been a while. Decided to take some time off of doing videos and stuff during the winter, because I like filming outside, but this winter, at least in a good portion of Pennsylvania, was pretty cold. We've had some mild winters in the past, so I guess we were due for a cold one, but when it's like 10 degrees, I'm good. I just don't want to be outside, so. But as you can see, we are outside now. Taking a walk on the property, picking up trail cameras. I'm definitely behind on that, but also seeing maybe move some stands for this coming year and a couple cutting projects that I want to do. So I'm just going to take you along with me today. So let's head down here. I'm about in the middle of the middle of the property now-ish. This is definitely an area I would like to thicken up. But as you can see, up there, it's thicker. But right here, kind of this whole, I wouldn't be surprised if this is like half an acre right here. I would love to thicken this up, but that's going to involve a lot of chainsaw work. Cutting down all the big canopy trees you can see, like some of these oaks and maple, they got pretty big canopies on them, so a lot of chainsaw work. But you could probably do that in a day, something like that. Especially if I had help, which I probably will get, so. Let's head on down here. Oh, God, is it mucky down here? I hardly ever set foot into this part of the property, to be honest, because since we're more towards the middle of it, during hunting season, I'm hunting the edges of the property. I don't set foot in the middle because that's usually where the deer are. This area over here, that area is nice. That area is nice and thick. Young pine growth in there. There's some aspen in there too. Young aspen. Has nice cover for the deer in there. I know that's one of the bedding areas. And of course, I'm keeping my eye out for sheds. I was up here, I think it was a couple weeks ago. Just took a real quick look and didn't find anything. I checked all the food plots. Nothing. But, and again, with shed hunting, I mean, I know people like to do it and stuff, and they like to find them. I wouldn't mind finding them. I'm not really good at it. But to me, if you're finding, this isn't always the case. You know, nothing's ever 100%. But if you find a ton of sheds on your property, it's not always a good thing. Because if you're finding sheds, you're finding where the deer are during the wintertime. I would rather have deer during the fall than the wintertime. I'm sure someone out there will tell me, oh, I find a ton of sheds and I also have a ton of deer during hunting season. And that very well may be the case. Like I said, nothing's 100%. But and what I've noticed over the years, the properties that you find more sheds on, they tend to not be the greatest during hunting season. And when I say hunting season, I mean the entire hunting season, not just gun season, like more later in the season. I'm talking from September or whenever your season opens till whenever it closes. This is an interesting area down here. I remember when we first got the property, I set up a trail camera there's an edge somewhere down there on that swamp edge. And the amount of freaking pictures I got, it was unreal. Especially during the pre-rut and the rut. But I just don't see a way that I can effectively hunt this. Because let's say I have a stand in one of these trees, you know, down here. That would mean, you know, deer crossing, running that edge of the swamp, or they could come behind. But if they're going on the edge of the swamp there, that means I'd have to blow my wind back this way, and look where that wind would go, right into that bedding area. So that's one reason. But another reason is that I don't think I could access this without spooking deer. I don't think it'd be possible. Because since I'd be closer to bedding, to me, this is more of a morning opportunity. And I think I'd be okay in the morning coming in the dark, because the deer would probably be on my one food plot about 250 yards up that way, or another one that's a good 350, 400 yards that way. But whenever I'm making my way out in the morning, if I don't shoot anything, they're going to be in this bedding area. They could be in that one down there. And then there's another one that's a little bit further out that way, probably a good 80, 90 yards. And I just don't see how I could do this without spooking deer. So I think this is one of those times to where I gotta, you know, suck it up and go, yeah, don't put a stand here. You're gonna ruin your hunt. And this is kind of like the middle of the property, so I just don't see a way I could do it. Drop a comment down below, guys. I'm curious to what do you take into consideration when setting up a stand for deer hunting? What makes it so that it's a yes, a definite yes, or something that's an absolute no? To me, if I can't access a stand without spooking deer, or if I can't blow my wind in an effective way to where I think deer probably won't be, then I probably won't put a stand in that area. And I actually hunted this a little bit in gun season, but I had a doe tag and I didn't really care what I messed up. It was I came down here the second to last day and the last day. So I just thought I'd just give it a shot. Why not? Who cares at that point? If I had still had a buck tag, I wouldn't have done it. Gosh, I like this area so much. You can see why. I mean, all the different habitat changes and stuff. But during the summer, whenever I've been coming down through here for various reasons, I always kick up a bed of deer along that straightaway somewhere. Buck, doe. So I definitely like that area. Man, is it mucky down here. I hope I don't go through. I don't want to get stuck today. That would suck. I'd say this, we're approaching the next humongous project, and probably the one that I'm most unsure about of how to do, because I want to do it right. And I've done something like it before, but never on this scale. Yeah, this part of this area, this is a good example. So we got this side right here. It's basically big road pines that was put in after some strip mining that was done on this property a long time ago. And as you can see, it's pretty open. I hate how open it is. And so do the deer. Because I don't see them go in here much. There's not much sign in there at all. But on the other side, it's fantastic. You can barely see more than 15 yards in front of you. It's a great bedding area in there. Now, this may not look like a huge deal, but this pine row is, I think it's about 50, 55-ish yards wide to the very top of that hill up there. But it's also, if I remember correctly, and I'm just using a map tool on HuntWise to figure this out, it was 450 yards long. Like, holy moly. So obviously I don't want to cut it all down. That'd be ridiculous. And also that would take forever. And I don't think that's the right move either. I think what the move is to take pockets of this. So we'll use this as an example. This area right here. Because what I want this side to look like that side in the worst way. Because then more deer are going to bed in here. More room, more deer to bed on the property. So my idea is to go every 50, 60 yards and just do a big circle cut of anything that's in here. So like this tree, this tree, this tree, this tree, that one. Just do a big cut. Then go another 50, 60 yards, do the same thing. That way, sunlight is getting to the ground here, because that's the problem. All this canopy here is blocking sunlight. It also doesn't help that that hill right there, that way is north. So north facing is always tough, but it's not that big of a hill. It's not a crazy terrain difference. So I don't think it's, that big of a deal. But either way, sunlight is not getting to the ground here, so nothing new can really grow. So that's what I think the move is. And I've been doing a lot of research and such on deer habitat and such, and how to improve properties. I think I've gotten pretty good at it, but cutting is definitely something I'm still a novice with, if you will. But all I know is I want that side to look like that, because it's so thick in there. There's so many points in there where you have to almost get on your hands and knees and crawl. And you can see the trails, the amount of trails in there from the deer and the beds is just unreal. So much sign in there. So yeah, I'm just not 100% sure how I'm gonna do that, but I need to make a decision on it soon, because spring greenup is not far away, ladies and gentlemen. And I would like to get the most growth out of my cuttings and such this year. So, and I think if the deer start using that more, I think that'll make my one stand location down here all that much better, which we'll end up going past it anyway. So I'll show you what I mean. There's my one stand. Sat in this stand, I think 3 times, 2 or 3 times this year. This stand is one of those in-betweeners. I feel like it could be morning, it could also be evening. I can only remember sitting in it 2 times, so maybe it was only 2. Oh yeah, I did grab that camera. But with this stand here, it's nice because if they're walking down this road, this old logging road, whatever this is, my food plot, and you can see it. It's right out there. I've seen them come past here. The buck I was after came past here. This is one of the places he messed up on. Came right past here from that way and went right down here out into the food plot. But back to what I was saying, how doing those cuttings down there would make this better. There's a lot of times to where the trail camera was about here. There were so many times when I would catch them sneaking just out in there. And obviously I can't shoot out into there because it's so thick. And I feel like I probably could make shooting lanes and holes out into there, but I feel like it might make the deer avoid them. So I've seen them do that before. You make shooting lanes and all of a sudden they start avoiding the shooting lanes altogether. It's pretty crazy, especially with mature bucks. Mature bucks are so finicky. They're such a independent thinker, a smart animal. So anything off to them, they're gonna avoid to begin with. You might get lucky. Of course, nothing's 100%, but I'm trying to stack as many odds in my favor as I can. So, but if I were to make this side look like that side, I feel like I could have more opportunity of them cruising through in here and maybe crossing right here or crossing a little bit further down and then going out there. Because if they just hug the swamp edge is probably like a good, I don't know, 50, 55, 60 yards into there. And from right now, you can only see probably a good 20 yards in from here-ish. It's probably about 20. They'll completely bypass you and you won't even know it. So encouraging more bedding over on this side, I feel like we'll bring more deer over to that side, and then we'll encourage more deer to travel crisscrossing through both sides. So that's the thought anyway. I gotta go get that trail camera out in the food plot. I keep forgetting. Be right back. Okay, we back. I just didn't feel like taking my camera through all that crap in there. And of course there's some things on the other side of the food plot over that way, that some areas that are kind of like what I described here, kind of like this, that need cutting. It's just, finding the time and resources to do it all. And prioritizing too. But I'm excited for the coming season. I feel a lot less stressed going into this season because I have a good chunk of stands up. I believe I have 12 stand locations on this property. I would like to add more, but I don't think I'm ready to add more at the moment. But I have all my food plots cleared out and everything. That was the biggest task last year, food plots and getting tree stands up. Now this year I can focus on fine tuning and such. I haven't decided if I'm going to move any stands around. I may. But right now I think I'm going to leave most of what is here, because for all my cameras last year I had great activity all season long, from the start of the season all the way to the end of the season. I had bucks on camera all season long, so clearly I'm doing something right. But since I don't know this property that well, I don't know. Of course, this is a bigger property than what I'm hunting the other place that I hunt, which is only like 14, 15 acres. It always seems like on that property when the deer hit 3 or 4 years old, that next year, there's a good probability they don't come back. And your only shot at them is during the peak rut. They like to go to this neighboring property that's a good 65 acres. And it's nothing but thick cover. and there's no hunting pressure. It's a non-hunting neighbor, so they could stay there and never leave. They don't need to. You know, there's no reason to leave. So I don't think this is going to be like that, because this property is, for one, it's bigger. You know, 92 acres is bigger, but it has some of the best habitat and cover around. My one neighboring property to the west has some decent habitat, definitely, but I know the hunting pressure over there can get a bit excessive, especially during gun season. So definitely makes sense why some new bucks showed up during gun season here that I hadn't seen before. Definitely makes sense. So let's head back up. What time is it? I don't have a whole lot of time. When do you ever have a whole lot of time, right? If you guys like this kind of trying this out, this vlog style, kind of like I'll edit some of it, but not a whole lot. If you like this style, drop a like and leave a comment down below. How you seeing stuff like this, those white tips sticking up like that from even just like 10 feet away gets me every time. I always think it's a shed. And as you can see up here, like that's decently thick there. It'd take a bit to get through that. It's just not very wide, so anytime I've seen deer or kick deer out of there, usually in the summertime, it's always been does. Through this. And there's the houses. Pretty close to my property line right now. So we'll head down this road. And I know it's March, almost April. What's it? I think Monday's April, something like that. And I'm talking about deer hunting when I'm sure a lot of you are in turkey season mode or thinking about that. Sorry, turkeys, they don't really do anything for me. I mean, I guess it's cool to get one, but I don't know. It's never really done anything. I've killed a couple gobblers in my life. After I got my first two, I'm like, oh, this is okay. Nothing against anyone who loves doing it, but I think one of the main reasons I don't like it is because Pennsylvania is stupid, and I will complain about this until they change it. Our opening day is usually like May 1st, May 4th. I think the latest it can possibly be is like the 6th. Like, by that time, I'm just not into it, you know? I don't know why our season can't open in mid-April like the rest of the other U.S. does. So I'm just over it by that point. I'll go the first day, and then also you can only hunt till noon. So someone like me who works 5 days a week, I can't even get out in the evening. I think after the first, I think it's 2 weeks, you can start hunting all day. But again, by that time I'm just over it. So we'll see what kind of turkey hunting content I decide to bring to the channel here, but don't expect much. Kind of on the other side of that area now that I said I wanted to thicken up. I wouldn't mind thickening up this area here a little bit. taking these bigger canopy trees down to kind of make it look like that up there, you know. Then the more does I can bring and pack in right here, especially, would be good. For one, it's nice and dry here, and the food plot is probably about, I don't know, there's the one aspen to where the aspen's out there, where the food plot is. That's probably like 50 yards, something like that. If I could pack those does into here, I would leave a lot more room down on that bottom I was just in for bucks. Because right now I doubt any does really bed here. You know, it's pretty open. They probably start bedding back in there. So I just want to make it thicker, make it more diverse. The more diversity you have on your property, the better. So, yeah. I feel like most of what I have to do is chainsaw work, which isn't a bad thing. I just want to make sure I do it right the first time. I'd rather not cut down a bunch of stuff and then be like, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. Because once you cut something down, there's no going back. Alright, let's back up the truck. Let's head up this way. As you can see, this is very thick. But a doe or two does bed in there, right up against the food plot edge. You can kind of see it right there where the green is. I wonder if my wife opened up the blind over there. I wonder if she and the dogs are chilling in there. Let's go see. Another little small project I'm working on is this whole thing right here. I planted switchgrass in last year, so I would love to have a nice switchgrass wall, almost like a tunnel here, so that I can just walk this outside edge, come right into this blind, and to the deer up here it just looks like there's a big wall of switch right here. I don't see her in there. But I'm gonna guess she opened that up to air it out. Oh, she is in there. And George is there.
Why are you filming me?
And Mia's right here. Very good. Alright, I think we're going to drop it off there. Guys, thanks for watching. Always appreciate it. Don't forget to drop a like and comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.